All right, thank you for taking the time to join us on the show. Jennifer Obaseki, senior partner at Obaseki Solicitors, will be joining us on the show today. We'll be taking a look at the changing immigration rules in the United Kingdom, the face of the Japa syndrome across Africa, indeed, and in Nigeria. How these immigration rules are affecting or are going to affect those that are planning to relocate to the United Kingdom and those that are already there at the moment. Jennifer, thank you for taking the time to join us on the program today.
My pleasure.
Good afternoon. As I said in my intro, we have a couple of immigration rules that are changing in the United Kingdom. And these changes, some of them have taken effect. For instance, the skilled worker visa is in the minimum salary to be sponsored for skilled worker visa has increased, with the baseline minimum rising from £26,200 to £38,700. Minimum income normally required to sponsor someone for spouse partner visa as also it's going to rise in stages from £18,600 per year to £29,000, and ultimately it's going to rise to about £38,700 per year. And also the graduate visa scheme is also being reviewed. The 2-year unsponsored work permit with overseas graduate of British universities also being reviewed. What do some of these immigration rule changes, what do they mean for those that are already in the United Kingdom or those that are planning to come to the United Kingdom?
Thank you. It's a case of where people need to be very sure of who is employing them and what routes they are taking to come to the United Kingdom. Sadly, a lot of people have been tricked, or let me say, invited to come in, receive their costs, but unfortunately, when arriving in the UK, not had work allocated to them. And because of this exploitation of people and the abuse of the immigration rules, the government has seen fit to try and amend them. Also, there's been a lot of pressure on the Home Secretaries, Suella Braverman beforehand, and now our new Home Secretary, with regards to reducing immigration figures. It is partly to appease the electorate, and it's also to focus on the fact that UK labour market is losing out. Many young people, British people, don't want to do some of these jobs, so it's foreign workers coming in. So for the foreign worker, for the Nigerians that are coming in to look for work, number one, be careful, be sure, look at your contract of employment, be sure the job is there, be sure the person who's promising you the job actually has a cost to give you. Secondly, though, for companies in the UK, this increase in money means that it's difficult for us to then employ people from overseas. So many people, especially the care homes, they're very worried about the fact that people are not only just coming in, but also being encouraged to come in without their families. And these jobs are stressful jobs. So you can imagine workers who don't have peace of mind because their families are back home, they can't come with them. Then again, also with regards to our students, as you know, since January can't come in with your dependents, and graduates also now, though they can still come in with their dependents, think about the additional pressure that's going to be on those who are studying at the under degree level, the first degree level, no ability to bring family with them. So the changes are vast, though the people shouldn't be completely deterred, because you still have availability under the global mobility schemes. If you go to the right companies that may be able to apply for you to come in through those schemes, people who are in training, people who are in research, don't be deterred. Don't be deterred. Just make sure that you go about things the right way, make sure your company has the right level of sponsorship, and you check your employment contracts.
All right, Jennifer, thanks a lot. Let's just stay specifically on the graduate visa program. The government has referred the graduate visa program to the Migration Advisory Committee for a review to be sure that the program is meeting its targets and that it's not being abused and is protecting the integrity and quality of the UK higher education. And the graduate advisory program allows those in graduates of higher institutions, maybe masters or PhD, to undergo post-study work, maybe 2-3 years thereafter. What is the situation? Is the government planning to stop these? What does the government mean by abuse? What is going on there?
Well, it's making sure that they're reaching or going into course programs that are meeting the requirements, number one. So making sure that the different institutions that are offering postgrads actually are meeting the mark, and those students are actually engaging in proper courses. Then this other thing that I actually worry about with some of our postgraduates is the research, and making sure that they own elements of their research, especially those who are working in technical fields. Unfortunately, I've seen some disputes between institutions and graduate researchers. You must make sure that you, as a graduate going over into post-study work, understand the terms and conditions of your institution and who will own the intellectual property from anything you are researching in. Really important for those in your tech fields. But really, the government is worried about abuse, making sure students are coming in, going into viable courses, actually completing those studies, and it's not just, let me say, a sham to enable the student come in. And a lot of people, again, have given a lot more attention to the graduate field because of the ability for them to bring dependents. So the government is being cautious about those who are using their route, so again, it doesn't fall foul and is subject to any abuse.
The government also spoke about changes to skilled workers visa. I mean, for those that are already in the country, maybe healthcare workers or those in the care industry, teaching industry, there is the baseline minimum, which is £26,200 to renew or go forward. The government is looking to increasing that to £38,700. How difficult in the United Kingdom of today for anyone who is in the skilled worker visa category to earn 38,000, basically 40,000 per annum? Yes, Jennifer.
Well, as I said to you, that the amount is quite a lot. You can think about nurses that are not even earning that amount of money. So to say that they put that on people who are going into the healthcare industry, though the government has realized that the care homes can't afford it with the business rates, with other issues and overheads, to then put that on, that additional salary cost on them, many of them are up in arms. They're worried that their care homes will need to close. So a lot of them have stopped issuing their costs or applying for new ones. So it's really a concern. There has been protests. There has been a lot within the industry rejecting this new increase. However, as I've said, it's really important that people are worried. People are weary of the employment contracts. They shouldn't be tricked by agents coming into the UK, promising costs. We get calls, at least 2 to 3 every day, of people who are with who've come in under the pretext of being offered care jobs. And when they've been referred to the various institutions, they're told that the job is not available or the hours they expected are not available. And therefore, they're having to look for the additional 20 hours outside of the place that issued them the cost, which is allowed. But then they have only 3 months to look for a new employer. Now, this is difficult, because a lot of the employers, as I've said, are no longer applying to the Home Office for new allocations, and others are already worried because of the rules that have been put in place. So if you are in that situation, do speak up. There are people here that are in that situation, have spent money on agents, come into the UK, no job, facing difficulty with their welfare and with their families. So it's really an issue. But if you're still thinking of coming, make sure that the person who's offering you the job is published on the Home Office website as having the right to give you that cost and has the sponsorship license. If they do not have a license and they're just a travel agent making you promises, be guarded, be careful. And if you have also been given an offer, make sure you read and scrutinize your employment contract. Make sure you're getting the minimum wage, which is just over £10, or within the region. If it's lower, you check what the regional average is. But they've said that the salary for the care will try to stay at the 26 because they appreciate which, employers just won't be able to afford it. But when you look at the other skilled worker visas, yes, it is going up to the minimum of 38,000. And again, as I've said to you, this still creates a large difficulty for companies. Graduates coming to me saying that their companies are no longer thinking of renewing their visas. So we're going to have a bit of a problem, I believe, in the UK. I think a lot of people may sadly be forced back underground, as in overstaying their visas, not being able to go back because they're having to try and recoup the money that they've paid to agents to come here. And sadly, a lot of families are feeling the pressure because they've not got the jobs that they were promised, falling foul and having to fall actually into the assistance of social services, something they never probably planned for.
All right. Jennifer Obaseki is a senior partner at Obaseki Solicitors based in London, talking to us about some of the changes in immigration rules taking place right now in the United Kingdom. Some of those changes are already enforced. Many of those changes are affecting those that are in the United Kingdom. Many of those changes are also going to affect those that are planning to relocate to the United Kingdom. So we're trying to create some kind of information that can help those that are planning to, that are already in the system. But Jennifer, let's stay a little bit on this issue. Is this move, or let me say, these changes that are taking place around immigration laws, are they politically motivated? Are they politically motivated? You see the University Commission saying, look, less international students are coming into the United Kingdom now, and they are going to have difficulty funding the system because students are no longer able to bring in their dependents. Health workers now not able to bring in their dependents with the increase in the minimum base they must earn before they can renew their visa. These changes do not appear to be in favor of the system, yet the government insists on going ahead with those changes. Are they politically motivated? Oh, I'm afraid I think I lost Jennifer there. Technical, I lost Jennifer there. Let's go on a very short break. Hopefully we'll be able to connect with Jennifer. Let's go on a short break now. Report from anywhere to everywhere, either global, foreign, or diplomatic relations, even diaspora matter. And we bring you the behind the scene of the stories through our studio analysis. This hand that has represented the symbol of unity after the war in Rwanda.
Good and efficient legal process is one of the main things that we realize leads to the breaches of human rights in Nigeria.
My assessment of the war in Ukraine is very unfortunate.
Attack on the Israeli attack on the Israeli soldiers by Hamas, by the jihadist group,
by the occupier,
and other terrorists.
By the people. No.
That will bring you all here on Global Matter. I apologize. I think we lost contact with Jennifer Obaseki right there. Technical or internet issue. But we were talking before we had that internet problem. We were talking about immigration issues, how the government insists on going ahead with some of these immigration changes, despite some institutions that are affected in the United Kingdom complaining that some of these changes are actually working against them. For instance, the student visa changes, the University Commission, some of the managers of universities in the United Kingdom say, look, they are having less international students coming in and they depend more on the money these international students bringing into the country in excess of about 200 million pounds annually. Some of this money will now not come in, not flow because of the immigration change around student visa. The healthcare worker, issues around healthcare worker, the immigration change that requires healthcare worker not bringing in their dependents, and also the increase in the minimum base from what used to be 26,200 per annum to £38,700 now will require. It's a huge task for them to beat, and some of those in the healthcare business saying, look, we're having difficulties meeting this target, and some of our international care workers may not be able to renew their visa, nor us having the opportunity to bring in any of this on. Huge immigration rule changing in the UK and impacting on the systems, yet the government going ahead. Unfortunately, we lost Jennifer there. But let's quickly finish this program with this information I'm going to bring to you. Earlier on the program, sometime last week, we brought to you how agricultural products in Nigeria are having difficulty coming into the United Kingdom, and how this is impacting on the cost, on the forest that the country, the forest that should be flowing into the country, and the piece of advice to the government. A piece of advice to the government to improve on agricultural products in Nigeria. Let's quickly take a listen to the snippet of that, and then we'll call it a day on the program today. On our Sunday show is still Global Matters, and we're looking at issues around Nigeria's agricultural products and their failure to meet international standard and breakthrough into the international agricultural products market. Joining me, we follow the stories and bring you the report from anywhere to everywhere, either global, foreign, or diplomatic relations, even diaspora matter. And we bring you the behind the scene of the stories through our studio analysis. This hand that has represented the symbol of unity after the war in Rwanda.
Good and efficient legal process is one of the main things that we realize lead to the breaches of human rights in Nigeria.
My assessment of the war in Ukraine is very unfortunate.
Attack on the Israeli government, an attack on the Israeli soldiers by Hamas, by the jihadist group,
by the occupier,
and other terrorists.
by the people. No.
That will bring you all here on Global Matter.